So he's saying, be of the same mind one towards another. And he's not talking about you and me being of the same mind with me or with you, but we should be of the same mind with him. Do we follow that? It's not you and I have to be of the same mind, but if we're both of his mind, we will be of the same mind. So then he says, do not be proud in mind. So how could you be proud in mind? Well, it's not the arrogance or pride in dealing with each other. It's you thinking you know better than him, because we're comparing those two mindsets. Okay, those are the minds we're comparing, or contrasting here. So he says, do not be proud in mind, but go along with the lowly. In other words, go about this in a lowly state of mind. Don't be in a haughty place. You don't repay evil for evil. And when you repay evil, it doesn't make the other evil all of a sudden good. Remember that when you're on the other side of it. Okay, because some of you do that too. You did something you shouldn't do. It got a reaction that was also not desirable. And now you think somehow you're right because of their reaction. You can't do that either. Everybody has to own their own stuff. All right? And so be careful that we're not allowing the other person's behavior to affect, listen now, not just how you behave, but how you think about your behavior. Because you may think, there's nothing wrong with what I did. It's perfectly understandable considering what you did. No, it's not. Whatever they did, it's not perfectly understandable. We have come to the point, this is again, loving each other, right? You can't love each other when you're so screwed up yourself. Did I say that too bluntly? Okay, you really can't love each other when you're as messed up as you are, because you're not capable of it. Look, you don't have the right perspectives and appreciations. You're spoiled. And so when you look at things, you're looking through the wrong lenses. And what happens is we become, now listen, this is the extreme end of this. Extreme meaning not that only a few of you have this problem, but this is what it ultimately looks like. Most of you have this problem. What happens is you get to that place where you have, but you didn't get everything exactly the way you wanted. Even though you got most of it, and you whine and complain and get angry and offended and disappointed and just want to, whatever, kill each other over it or divorce each other or stop talking to each other, whatever it is. Even though you got so much, oh, but that's not what I wanted exactly, and I didn't get enough of it, or I didn't get what and that's what happens all over the place. That mind that's supposed to be the mind of Yeshua, the one with the love, joy, peace, patience, it requires something that we're terrible at, communication. We're really bad at that. In other words, sharing in an honest way what you're feeling. Feelings are fine. We just don't know how to handle them. They're real. They're there for a reason. You know, when somebody does something that steps on your feelings, and we talk about the feelings bag and all that stuff, but when your feelings get stepped on, that's not necessarily the problem. I don't want you to have no feelings. But find a better way to communicate to the person, because if they love you, wife, husband, children, parents, whatever, brother, sister, brethren, if they love you, they wouldn't want to hurt your feelings or step on them. Now listen, he says, beloved, do not revenge yourselves, but give place to wrath, for it has been written, vengeance is mine, I shall repay. See, I told you we're going to get to this next verse. You're usurping his role when you jump out there to try to get your pound of flesh, your justice, your vengeance. Now, bear in mind, we're talking about vengeance here. We're not talking about you and your spouse or you and whoever have a problem and the communication's broken down and you come and get counsel on how to reconcile and fix the problem. It's when you try to go out there and make the other person pay. Oh yeah, I'll show you. Now you're trying to do the vengeance thing. Making the other person pay a price. And that's where he says, no, that's not your job. If your enemy hungers, why would he say if your enemy hungers, feed him? Could it be that it's somewhere in that hunger was the problem? It doesn't just say, hey, go do nice things for your enemy. I'm guessing here that it's using some examples that may be part of the problem. In other words, if your enemy has a need, instead of yelling and screaming and fighting about it, how about just helping them have what they need? Help provide what they need. Maybe they need your patience. Maybe they need your understanding. Maybe they need you to be calm. Maybe who knows, whatever it is, figure out what they need. Give them what they need. If your enemy's hungry, feed him. If you thirst, give him drink. But the point being that if we're going to love one another, first embrace, that is what he intended you to do. So it is good for brothers to dwell together in unity. Okay? It is good. Why? Because that's how he intended us to be. How good and how pleasant, right? Psalm 133:1. How good and how pleasant for brethren to dwell together, right? How is that? Of course, it's good because it's how he intended it to be. Not just, we think how good and well, how enjoyable that is. Well, you know what? When things are doing and functioning and behaving the way he intended, it is enjoyable. There's no two ways about it, right? It is absolutely a joy when we're in line with him. Some of you won't even share the communication because they should know. Okay, listen to me. I'm going to look everybody in the eye. Okay? The other person doesn't know. Especially if they're male and you're married to them. You have to tell them. Well, I shouldn't have to tell him. You know what? That is the biggest beat. I'm not going to say it. That is the biggest load of, you fill in all blanks you want. You need to just absolutely stop that. I don't know who made that up or when it started, but everybody that's embraced that, it has wrecked your life because you're so stubbornly thinking, I'm going to be mad because they should know better. They don't know. If they knew, they wouldn't do it. You know, here he's saying, look, I could do all these things and you would be so impressed and say, wow, if I could just be like him. He said, but if I don't have love, then it was of no point. It didn't benefit me and it didn't benefit anybody else in reality. Because you might be thinking, wow, I mean, if he had all prophecy and knowledge and secrets and everything and all that belief to move mountains, because that's not the point. What's the point? Well, 42 parts, love and Torah. The point is that it's all about learning to love him and love each other. So if you have all of these gifts and talents and didn't actually receive the point of the whole thing, then it was of no point. It was of no use. Because some of you will strive to study and to learn, and I got to know, and you get all focused on whatever it is you're focused on, and your relationships are all in the toilet. Because you've put all your eggs in the wrong basket. Because the goal was love. Never give up, never quit. Okay, the world is getting more and more filled with quit. I mean, I see it everywhere. We're becoming more and more a world of people just so ready to quit, if they haven't already quit. And you've got to keep going with boldness and with confidence and with optimism. Okay? Now, what are we being bold and optimistic about? That what he's trying to do through you will work. Okay? Not just boldly just running forward, still being you. You got to be you becoming him.